Ooh, baby, this is not what I thought we would be talking about today. But this is indeed the scoop that we have. It's a guy that has risen from the metaphorical ashes of being doomed on the LTIR. A guy whom we all hold fondly in our hearts. A guy whom we all remember was one of the best players in the NHL, but who, due to injury, had to stop playing. And he's been out for a while now. There's no realistic option for him coming back. We already got comments from himself saying that we're probably never going to see him play again. But when it comes to Montreal Canadiens legend Carey Price, turns out Newest Scoop says he is open for a trade. Let's take a look at this article published on TVA Sports by Jean-Francois Chaumont. Carey Price is open to a trade. It's in French. I translated it to English. Of course, it's TVA Sports. And let's go over the piece. Just talk about what it says here. Because you had yourselves Carey Price, who was making himself known as a new ambassador for the CF Moto vehicle brand at the Habs training center in Brossard. Price, in this position, reaffirmed what we already knew, telling the media that his days as the team's #1 goalie are behind him. Take a look at the comments that he made. This is the most likely scenario, short of a miracle, he said. I still have a contract and I still have to entertain the idea that I could still play, but the probabilities drop from month to month. Now, what exactly does that mean? The probability is dropping from month to month? Honestly, I feel pretty good, Price says, on a daily basis. I feel like I could still prepare for an NHL camp, but when I do stuff on a more consistent basis, I quickly realize that my knee is not healed. My knee cannot handle the burden of a long hockey season. There's still some swelling in there. The honest answer is to say that it won't happen. I can't handle the stress of being a goalkeeper. I don't have the strength in my knee. And it's kind of interesting how these comments were even made in the first place, because it's like, okay, a guy is admitting that he's never gonna be able to play. Pretty much, right? So even though you could say that, hey, it's on the NHL for not enforcing any rules for players to retire when they're not capable of playing anymore, but at the same time, Price backs himself up by saying, yeah, I still have to entertain the idea that I could play. Like, I'm not allowed to just sit here and say, yeah, I'm done. If I retire, I forfeit all the money, everything changes, who knows if there are going to be cap penalties for the Canadiens, we wouldn't want that to happen. So, just stay on the LTIR, I'm just gonna stick around and I'm not able to play. Like, I'm just not healthy enough. My knee doesn't have the proper strength in it to maintain an 82-game pace. And that's not even to say that Price would play 82 games, just having one season's worth of play. However, when it comes to Carey Price himself, he does say that his life has been pretty good. In good humor and generous in his responses, the winningest goaltender in the history of the Canadiens with 361 wins described his daily physical health. Day to day, I feel good. I go for walks, I pick up my children from school, I can go climbing or play golf, I find myself pampered. But I played in a charity softball tournament over the summer. It's not the most demanding sport, I played a full day. I can do it from time to time. I'm still a hockey player and I endure the pain. Just playing softball and running on the base, my knees started to swell up again for the next 2 weeks. There are times when I tell myself that I could prepare for camp and that I'd win a position, but I have a reminder when I played in a softball tournament that I couldn't endure the marathon of a season. Now, I'm no doctor, nor chiropractor, but that's a pretty big deal if playing 1 day's worth of softball is enough to get your knee swelling up for 2 weeks. Just imagine playing an NHL schedule even for 1 week. Like, I can understand when Carey Price says that he has no capability of actually playing considering the status of his knee, but the real scoop in this article comes towards the middle part of the piece. Now, firstly, he says that he's open to a trade, or he's also open to a position with the Canadiens. Yes, I keep that door open. I won't have a full-time role anytime soon as I have young children at home. I want to stay present, but one day the kids will be at an age where they won't want to spend so much time with their dad. But yeah, in the future I could see myself occupying a role with the Montreal Canadiens. And on another note, it says here that Carey Price would not put a spoke in the wheels of Hughes and Gordon in the event that they tried to trade his contract. The decision is not mine. In hockey, you have to manage the salary cap and salaries. Leaders have decisions to make, but I will remain a Montreal Canadien for the rest of my life. I'm very proud of it. I will help the team no matter the decision. If they have to move money, aka my contract, to improve the team, then I'll accept that. And this screams to me Alex Burrows on the Vancouver Canucks. It screams Kevin Bieksa. It screams all these guys who have been mainstay leaders and important figures on their teams, Canadian teams specifically, saying outwardly and publicly, yeah, you could trade me. Like, obviously, my heart is here. I will be a Montreal Canadien for life, but if the team really does need to move my contract to get better, I'll accept that, because I want to help this team win, help them out as much as I can. So financial flexibility, cap flexibility, trading me away in my $10.5 million AAV contract, Carey Price is putting that on the table and saying, yeah, it's okay. No need to fuss. And so even though this article goes out there and it's titled saying, yeah, Carey Price is open to a trade, it makes it seem like a little bit more strong than the way that he worded it in the comments that he made himself. This still is a pretty good sign that Carey Price is as much of a team player today as he was all those years ago when he was backstopping the Canadiens to a Stanley Cup Finals appearance, when he was backstopping the Canadiens to his own Hart Trophy, Ted Lindsay Trophy, all the other crazy awards he had received in that one season that he had. But for Carey Price, of course, it's been, 2 years now since he's played a game? Coming on 2 years, or maybe just a year and a bit? I mean, he was never really supposed to go out like this, of course. He was signed on to that long-term deal till 2026 for a reason, and it's just really unfortunate that we only saw good play out of the first, half of that contract. But of course, LTIR space is LTIR space, and that will help the Canadiens in some respect if they could reach the cap floor and try to push their boundaries a little bit by using Price's $10.5 million on the LTIR. But if it comes to a point where they're trying to actually maximize on the dollars they have available to them, then okay, trade Carey Price away, trade his rights away for a 7th or something, send him over to the Arizona Coyotes because we know they always like taking on big contracts, but for Carey Price, in spirit, his heart is with the Habs. Even if this means he's not going to stick around for a while, he's going to just kind of stay with the family, stay with the kids, that's totally okay. Maybe he comes back over to the Canadiens in a managerial role. He comes over with some sort of an executive role later on. He said he's open to that, so that's a pretty good piece of news as well. But it's just nice knowing that Canadiens hockey will always have a part of Carey Price, and that Carey Price will always be a part of the Habs too. Him giving his blessing to a trade is awesome, but I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How sad does this entire thing make you feel? How his knee is so banged up that he can't even go through a day of softball without it swelling for 2 weeks, let alone handle the stress of a full NHL season from October to... when does the NHL season end? March or May? Something like that? June even, if the Canadiens make the finals again, which is not going to happen since they're rebuilding, but you get the idea. This has been such a shift in the guy's physical health that you can't help but feel bad to see it, but let me know your thoughts either way in the comment section below. How do you feel about Carey Price speaking out about his potential future with the Habs? I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.